How do you avoid probate with your home? Hi, this is Claire Langton Yanowitz, and I'm an attorney at the Yanowitz Law Firm, where we help people protect what matters most. We've been drafting wills, trusts, and helping families with probate for nearly the last 30 years. Okay, let's get started. How do you avoid probate with your home? There's a couple of different ways you can avoid probate with your home. So what is probate? Probate is a court proceeding that occurs when someone dies to pass property to a living person. And people oftentimes want to avoid probate because it can result in extra expense and hassle when someone dies. So the first step you can do to avoid probate with your house is you can own it as joint tenants, okay? So if in Minnesota, if the deed has the words joint tenants, it's owned by husband and wife as joint tenants, that means it will pass to the surviving person without going through probate, assuming the surviving spouse is alive. Now, owning property as joint tenants is not helpful if the two co-owners die together at the same time. So let's say a couple is in a car accident together, they die together. If their home is owned as joint tenants, they will still end up going through probate, okay? So that's something to know with joint tenants. There is another way to own property jointly in Minnesota. It is called tenants in common. And if the deed does not have the words joint tenants or tenants in common, but it's owned by two people, it is tenants in common property. And tenants in common property triggers probate when either owner dies, okay? So that's a way that you will go through probate at death if you own it as tenants in common. Another way that you can avoid probate at your death is by filing what's called a transfer on death deed. And what a transfer on death deed says is, if I own this property when I die, the property will pass to this beneficiary. And as long as that beneficiary is alive at the time of the owner's death, then the beneficiary can inherit the property without going through probate. So that's a really helpful tool. A third tool that we sometimes use is if a client has a revocable trust, sometimes we will transfer the real estate to the revocable trust, or we will transfer it to the revocable trust at the owner's death, okay? And as long as it's owned by the trust at death, it will never go through probate. And so that's a really helpful tool that we have. Now, a third way that you can avoid going through probate with real estate is having the real estate owned by a business like an LLC. And then when a person dies, the LLC doesn't die, so we might need to transfer the person's interest in the LLC, but we don't actually have to transfer the real estate. We generally don't put homes, somebody's primary residence, in an LLC. It's not beneficial because it won't qualify for example, homestead real estate tax credits if it's owned by an LLC. So we try and avoid having the primary residence owned by an LLC, but sometimes we will do this for a second home, a cabin, maybe rental property. Those are all good uses of where an LLC might come into play and be helpful in both avoiding probate and providing protection in the event there's some sort of lawsuit associated with the real estate. Well, if you have any questions about this video today, feel free to give us a call. Our number is 507-252-8997. And if you would like to hear more about topics in estate planning and probate, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can learn about new videos as we post them. Thank you.